All right. So, hello, everyone, formally. It's so nice to have you all here. We are really excited because today is the first Mindset and Merlot that we're hosting a free workshop. We're super excited. Before we start, I guess we just want to say, like, this is, first of all, a safe space. We want you to feel comfortable to share anything that you want to share. You can drop it in the chat box. We'll have some time at the end where we'll cut the recording and we can have a conversation. It is really a no judgment, no pressure zone. We all have our drinks. We really wanted to create a space where we can actually meet virtually and just, have a glass of wine with like-minded women. So super happy to have you all here. We'll introduce ourselves quickly in a minute in case you don't know us. But first of all, we just want to say the holidays right now, for me specifically today, it feels like shit. Okay. For
Renee's having a day.
I'm having a day, and I was telling Paula, like, wow, I have to go live today twice. And I was just like, the mental overload that I have right now is not comparable to what I've been dealing with the last months. So it's just been a lot. And so we want to recognize that, because if I'm feeling this way, I'm assuming a lot of people are. Even if we're trying to stay zen and like peaceful, I think it's just hard in general because the energy collectively that is around us, the traffic, the people in the stores, like it is
I'm getting like itchy. You just like
itchy.
talking about it.
Itchy.
I'm like,
Yeah. It's overstimulating. And I
yeah,
think even if we're trying to avoid it, it's hard. Like we're grabbing that energy whether we want it or not. Um, so we're gonna do a quick quick question for you just to see how you feel. You don't have to respond. You can just respond in your head or you can drop it in the chat box. But if I tell you, I'll relax after, what's the word that comes after? Like what does that look like for you? When are you going to relax? And I'm going to check in the chat box just in case. And this is where we're going with this. If your answer is something like after the holidays, when I'm done the never ending to-do list. Okay.
never ending.
Never
Get it?
ending.
Yeah.
So when I'm done doing what I said what I would do. Okay.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
I think I got you, Kristen.
Yeah.
It's so that's why we're here, because it's honestly, we're all doing it, but I think it's unacceptable to say that we're only going to have a peaceful moment when we're done all the things, because we're never going to be done all the things. So keep that in mind. My name is Renee. In case you don't know me, I'm the founder and co-owner of It's Your Time Coaching. We are so excited to have you here. We have been, so Paula joined me this year. It's going to be a year in February that she joined me. And our vision for this business, for this community it's gone through the roof. It's not easy. It's hard work, but there's so much clarity, there's so much energy. We're pouring our hearts into this business, into this vision that we have for women. We had a very successful sold out event in June. We're working on the second one for November 2026. And we just can't wait to share all the goods that's coming. So I'm super honored to be here. My corporate world is, I'm an accountant CPA. That's how Paula and I met. We work at the same corporate job. And I'm a mom, of course. If you know me, you saw that all over the place. And I just love where I'm at in my life. But there's always things that, are important to me to prioritize and really work on. And I'm really excited to share all of that with you. So, Paula, turning it over to you for a quick intro.
Yeah. Well, this is really exciting because this is our first webinar. Like, I think I'm right in saying that. I don't think we've ever done something like this, that we just opened it up to everybody. So I'm really excited. Renee and I are really passionate about just kind of spreading the message, because as we're both moms, like she said, we both work in a corporate office. We just both have very full plates, as I know that you all do as well. And we want to make sure that we are on the priority list, that we're taking care of ourselves, that we are being truthful and honest with ourselves all the time. And that's really the conversations that Renee and I had before I joined this business, was really all around that. And we were just like, we think the same, like we have the same values. We want this, we want everybody to think the way that we do, in the sense that, you know, we are always striving to be the best version of ourselves. Like we're never losing sight of what that looks like. And it's a challenge. Like that's why we have to keep showing up, and we have to keep leaning into this stuff, because it's not just a one and done. It's like constant. And just when you think like, I figured it all out, like Renee today, like a bad
Yeah.
day comes and it makes you feel like you're at ground zero again, even though you know you have all these things in your toolkit. So it's just always about like the repetition of hearing these messages. And which is why we thought like today would be such a great day for us to come together in the midst, you know, probably when most people would hear like, oh, you're doing a webinar on December 18th. Like what? Like, are you crazy? You're already saying how busy you are. But it's important that we're taking the time and we're stopping, and that we are putting ourselves on some kind of burner, not the back burner, hopefully the front burner. So,
Mhm.
like I said, I'm a mama too. All my background has been like in HR, in leadership development, career development, all that stuff. So I bring a lot of that to the coaching that I do, mixed with some like cognitive behavioral therapy. And so, yeah, just really passionate about this space, and really grateful that you guys are here. Yeah, so we can jump in.
Woohoo.
Woo.
So, okay, so that's about us. I think we want to first address like the big lie. I think the big lie that we're telling ourselves is I'm just going to get through it. Like, I'm just going to get through it. Kind of like that I'm a robot type of mentality. I'm just going to get up, do all the things, go to all the Christmas parties, get the Christmas shopping done. I'm going to be cooking all the things. I'm going to give so much energy. First of all, not only are you doing all the things, all the events and stuff, you're also like showing up in a way that is so demanding of yourself, because you're meeting all these people that maybe you haven't seen for so long, and so obviously you're happy to see them, but how is that exchange of energy? I feel like we're giving, and then it's like we're opening our eyes and it's December 26th, 27th, and we're like, oh my God, it's almost like we're having this like hangover feeling of what is this? Like we're exhausted, we're overwhelmed, we're feeling like we're behind. So I think it's really important that we address how we navigate typically.
And then we also have to take a step back and think like, if that is how we're feeling, right? Like as you're going through this, and I'm guilty of this for sure. I have two young girls who are very much like, you know, into the Christmas magic and everything that comes with that. And it's a big, you know, anyone who has young kids like knows like the amount of energy that goes into this holiday season, Christmas concerts and all the stuff, plus just everything else, like wrapping up work for the year, those types of things. Like you have to think, if you're pushing through and you're just in survival mode just to get through the holidays, like you are still a person as well. Like you only get one life. You just now push the fast forward button on your holidays, and like you've missed the point of what the holidays are about and why you should be giving back to yourself and the magic of Christmas and all those things. Like if you are going through at a fast forward pace just to get through, like what are you even giving? What is that energy? And you're missing out on the point. Like I said, like it's completely doesn't make sense. We think we need to do it all, but to the point where we've now completely lost the point.
Mm. And also that, so I think that's one aspect. And then there's the aspect of now I've gone through the holidays and I'm feeling so much guilt because I over maybe indulged in all of the food. I had so many drinks. I stayed up super late. You know, I didn't prioritize myself and movement. And then we're feeling so guilty. but also like I just named all of the reason why, like we haven't been, we completely let like our routine go. Like we just threw it out the door, and we really kind of lived in the present moment in the sense that like, oh, I'm gonna worry about this later, but then we're feeling bad, and we're feeling guilty for doing this, and it's just such a vicious cycle.
If you think of all the things that we do, like everything you just said, the drinking, the eating, the lack of sleep, probably the lack of boundaries. Like you're seeing family members that, maybe know how to trigger you in the exact way that you
Mm.
are triggered, that are you're easily triggered. Like all these things come into play. And it's like at the same time you're giving this energy out there that you just know like that's not who you are, and then there's like this guilt spiral that happens afterwards, like why did I show up that way, why didn't I say no, and then the shame spiral just makes everything so much harder to come out of, right?
Mm.
Because you're
Yes.
not you are thinking, oh well, you know what, it's Christmas, I'm going to indulge, I'm going to do this, but that's, you can be present and you can do those things, but the difference is when you go down that path of that is going to inevitably lead to the shame spiral, the difference is that you're not being intentional. You can be
Yes.
present, right, and you can enjoy all the things and the drinks and all that stuff, but are you being intentional about it? Are you saying to yourself, you know what, I'm going to have 2 glasses of wine, I'm going to have this cheesecake and it's going to feel amazing, but I'm done. I'm satisfied.
Yes.
I don't need to keep on going until I feel sick. Like there's
Yes.
the difference, right? Like I know for myself during the holidays, I want to be fully present. I'm like taking it in as much as I possibly can. But I've definitely been guilty of that in the past. Of like everything goes out the window because it's the holidays. All of my standards are completely gone because
Yes.
I think like, no, it's fine. It's the holidays. But I know now based on experience what that actually does for me. And that leads to guilt. It leads to feeling depressed. It leads to feeling anxious. And it's just such a harder thing to get out of as opposed to being intentional, walking through it slowly in your mind, making the choices as you go, and then being like, you know what? Now it's done. I've enjoyed
Yes.
myself and now I don't need to dig my way out.
Exactly. And I think we all also might be guilty of having this um like all or nothing mentality where it's like I screwed up the last week, and so it means that my entire 2025 goes to waste. And it's like, no, that's not how you should see it. You're ending 2025 doing things that you hopefully love with people that you love. Maybe you had a piece of cheesecake that, too much. Maybe you had too many. Maybe you had a couple extra drinks. Just be mindful of that. And I think we always talk about that self-awareness piece, like being intentional, like recognizing how you feel. Like as long as you're like, you know, having fun and really finding joy in that moment, then it's your responsibility to be like, okay, I had fun, I did certain things. Now it's like I love myself enough to like move on from it and give myself some grace. And like tomorrow is a new day. I'm not starting from zero. I'm starting from where I left off, maybe minus a few extra calories. Like it's just that like not being too hard on ourselves. Like I think
Yeah,
it's what it comes down to.
for sure.
Um, so there's like we're gonna give you some tools that we think are super like practical to help you navigate the next couple of weeks. One thing that I've been doing in the last, I want to say maybe like 4 months, is the box breathing. I talked about it in the membership a lot. And it's something that's new to me. I never did that before, but lately when I get this like mental overload and like overstimulation, like I've been using it. It's so what you do is you inhale for 4, you hold it for 4, exhale for 4, and then hold it for 4. And you can repeat it like 3 times. So when you think of it, it's like 4, 4, 4, 4, like a box, easy to remember. extremely powerful, will bring you back in the present moment because you don't have a choice. Like you need to have your full awareness to be here in the moment and actually like count and focus on your breathing. It will bring you back. So if there's any point in time during the holidays where you're feeling this like overwhelm starting to creep in, you're starting to get, you know, maybe resentful a little bit, there's like this you're tired, you're maybe feeling like you're about to snap, maybe this is when you're like, oh, maybe I need like a quick reset. You want to talk about the other tools that we have?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the one I was actually just talking about this in our membership is something that I've been doing for a long time, but it comes especially handy during the holiday season. Is I call it the mental load dump. And basically, you can do it like pen to paper. I use my notes app, and it's really just everything that I need to either get done or like any kind of tabs that are open in our brain. Like for instance, like I need to go get my dog groomed. I need to make sure I'm getting the Christmas groceries. I need to make sure that I'm picking up a gift card for a teacher, like whatever it may be. As soon as the thought hits, I'm writing it down.
Yeah.
And that way I'm not storing it. And I'm not, because the more that we store, it does almost create like a pressure in our head. And so I'm just like, I need to get it out. And then as I go, I'm just crossing things off as I go. Now, whether it happens tomorrow or in a week from now, whatever. But what you'll notice is that as you're going through your list, you're starting, as in the time's passing, you're starting to see what is a non-negotiable and what are the things that can go, right? So when I first started the holiday season, I had, my list was like a mile long. And as I'm getting closer to the holidays, I'm seeing that, you know what, like baking, I wanted to bake, that I had every intention to bake. And that's something I usually do. I'm too busy this year to do that. I'm not going to stress myself out about that. I can receive some baked goods from people if they want to bring it over. You
There's
know, my
amazing
kids,
bakeries around.
that's right. I'm going to buy something like that. I get my groceries delivered, no problem. I'm not going to stress myself out about that, right? Like I would rather show up in another way at more capacity than stress myself out about baking, right? Like that's not going to benefit me. It's not going to benefit my family. And I'm not even a good baker. So it can go, right? Like, so as you go, you can start to see what are the non-negotiables that really matter to you and what's just something easy that you can let go of. And I'm telling you, if you haven't done this yet, it is like a for sure way just to keep your brain in check. And I look at the list at the end of the holidays and I'm like, I feel really good about this, right? Like there's never something that's left on my list that I'm like, I wish I would have got to that. Like everything becomes really clear. And if I want to prioritize it, like it's going to get prioritized, it's going to get done. But it's just important to release that information out into the world so that you're not storing it.
Yeah, and that's something that I've been using for, oh my God, for as long as I can remember, probably since I have an iPhone. I use the notes as well. They all have a different title. I have a list for our wedding in 2027. I have a list for our trip to Nashville. I have a list for the holidays. I have a list for the business. I have a list for all the things. And to your point, as soon as I get like an idea or something that needs to get done, I immediately put it on there because I know I'm the type of person that will keep this in my mind and it will literally, it like I won't sleep over it because I'm going to think about it when I put my head on the pillow until
It'll
it
be
gets
on a
done.
loop. It's like on a loop in our brain,
On a loop.
never ending.
Never ending. So it's my list is getting updated all the time. And to your point, there are so many times where I'm looking at that list and I'm like, you know what? This has been on my list for like the past 6 months. Clearly, it's not that meaningful to me, and I think I can remove it from there. And then it's gone. And I'm at peace with it. So the list things is like it's so important. Does not have to be on your phone. It's on my phone for honestly because it's convenient, but it can be on in a notebook, like wherever. I used to do like a kind of mental dump before going to bed because at one point I had a really hard time falling asleep because I had all these things going through my mind. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to take this nonsense put it on paper, close that notebook, and the difference it made in me, like the amount of time it would take me to fall asleep was absolutely crazy. Like it is such a great tool.
Well, it takes the power out of the thoughts, and like it makes it so that you're now in control of your thoughts as opposed to your thoughts being in control of you. And that's
Yeah.
really around a lot what we talk about in the membership too, is like that foundation in cognitive behavioral therapy, where it's like it's just creating awareness, right? Like it's just creating awareness over your thoughts. And then once you do that, you kind of separate yourself from it. You separate
Mhm.
yourself from the thought, and then it can be, yeah, something as simple as a grocery list. You can say, okay, does this matter to me? Does it not? Is this creating anxiety? Is it not? It just gives that little bit of separation so that you can really reflect and be like, what do I need to do about this, and create that action.
So good. The second tool that I really like is, especially for the next 2 weeks, is your non-negotiable. So one of the reasons why we're losing this confidence in ourselves over the holidays, and we wake up on December 26th or 27th and we're like, I feel horrible about myself. I feel horrible about my body. I feel so much guilt around the last couple of weeks. It's because confidence is being built when you're honoring the promises that you've made to yourself. So for the last couple of weeks during the holidays, you've been drinking, you've been eating completely out of your maybe normal routine. Maybe you haven't been working out like you usually do. You haven't been meditating, maybe you're going to bed super late and you're someone that really really loves her routine before going to bed. Maybe that's gone to shit since the last couple of weeks. So now you're left with like asking yourself, why am I feeling like shit? And it's like, well, you haven't been doing anything that makes you feel like yourself and that makes you feel good and accomplished in the last couple of weeks. So having a daily non-negotiable, and it's important again, not to overwhelm yourself and say, oh, I'm gonna make sure I have 5 to 10 non-negotiable done every day. That's not the point. Choose one thing that really grounds you and really makes you feel good about yourself, and make sure that you get it done no matter what every single day for the next couple of weeks. If it's doing 10 minutes of sitting in silence with your coffee and a book, if it's 10 minutes walking outside that really makes you feel grounded, whatever it is that makes you feel you and yourself, it's really important that you pick that one thing and you just keep doing it.
I know what mine is. Mine is definitely, and you and I just had this chat yesterday. I'm like, wow, like when was the last time I had a sip of water? Like, I know for me, I need to drink more water. That is my non negotiable over the holidays. Like every morning, water before coffee, like making sure that I'm staying hydrated, that I can commit to myself in that way. And the one thing that really helps when I decide to do a non negotiable, and I've said this in our membership many times, is that when I commit to something to myself, I always flip it to say, not just like, okay, I'm going to do that. What I say to myself is, I'm not willing to disappoint myself. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
going to disappoint myself. And for me, that just like carries more weight to
Yeah.
say, like, because the alternative is I am disappointing myself. And I'm just, that for me is just not on the table. So I'm going to commit to the water. I'm going to be drinking it. And I'm not going to disappoint myself. And it's funny, as Renee was talking, I think like when we call it like the inventory of, are you sleeping? Are you drinking water? Are you moving your body? Are you like getting vitamin D? Like those types of things. Like there will be days where I will be like a troll coming into work and being miserable. And, Renee, and I'm like, oh, just grumbling. And I'm like, and it's almost, I wouldn't say it's annoying, not that Renee's annoying, but it's almost annoying because I know what the answer is. And Renee will be like, should we do the inventory? Should we do it? And I know what it is. It's, are you eating? Are you drinking? Are you sleeping well? Those types of things. So it's
Mm-hmm.
always the same thing, but it's so interesting how we lose sight of that so quickly. So
So
you know
quickly.
what the answers are. Like you have to trust yourself, but you also have to be willing to not disappoint yourself.
Yeah. And just an interesting statistic, and this was not part of the script, so like maybe look it up after because I'm not sure I'm gonna say like the number properly, but I think we have around 80,000 to 90,000 thoughts per day. And around 80% of them are the exact same that we had the day before. So if you're starting your December 26th and you're like feeling so guilty, you're so hard on yourself, you're telling yourself all these like mean things and you're being so negative, this is going to be your mindset for the next few days until you start actually doing things that fuels you and makes you happy and makes you feel proud of yourself. So usually this like depression lasts until after January 1st when everyone is like, this is it, I'm taking care of myself and I'm starting this new year, new me thing. This is when it usually turns around. But like it is because like you haven't been doing anything for yourself in the past few days. So it's I think just being mindful of that and having this conversation and this reminder is going to be um like a lot easier maybe to not fall into that like rabbit hole.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not about like, I'm certainly not going to be like, going to the gym on Christmas Day or things like that. Like, it's
No.
not about, but it is just about being intentional. Like, that's truly what it comes down to, is just staying
Yeah.
so close to yourself that you're checking in with yourself. How am I feeling? And being able to pivot as soon as you know that things are going off the rails for you a bit, is to say, okay, what's the next best thing that I can do for myself? And usually it is one of those things from the inventory. It's like, okay, maybe I'll grab some water. Maybe I need to sleep. Maybe I
Yeah.
need to move my body, those types of things.
Mm. And one that we want to touch on before moving on to other things is boundaries. So you're going to be asked to do so many things during the holidays. You'll get invitation to hang out with friends that maybe you haven't seen in so long. You're going to have so many family events. Maybe you're going to want to do all of the fun activities because you're finally off of work and you want to really, really, make the best out of your time off. So you're going to stack your schedule and you're probably going to overwhelm yourself. So boundaries is something that comes in and helps you keep yourself sane. Maybe a boundary for you looks like, you know what? I'm not going to do something every single day throughout the holidays. I'm going to leave a day in between so I can rest and like recharge. I know for me, going to places, parties, or whatever, where there's a lot of people and noise, it drains me. We had our staff party this week at work. And so many people actually don't know that about me. They think I'm like super extrovert and that I love, people, which is true. I do love people. I'm really like a people's person. Like I will, have conversation. I'm not shy in that sense. But being in a room where there's a lot of people around me, where there is a lot of noise, like music, so many people talking, my soul left my body. And I was pale. I felt sick. I was in there for like a couple hours, maybe an hour and a half. And I was like, I need to get out of here. Like I was not feeling great. And so if you can kind of like, again, have that self-awareness and know yourself enough to be like, I know this is going to trigger me. This is going to make me feel not the best. Well, maybe you say no. And there's no crazy explanation needed. It's simply a, you know what, we're cutting down on doing all the crazy stuff this winter or this holiday season. We just want to be more at home and relax a bit more. I've been really tired the last few months. That's it. Like just there, that's it. You are allowed to prioritize yourself, basically,
For
is what it
sure.
comes down to.
And I set like for me, for instance, like boundaries look a little different. It's not I actually don't usually have an issue being like not doing that.
Yeah, you're great
But
with that.
I'm pretty good with that. But I do have people in my life that I love that I definitely have boundaries with that like I can't spend a ton of time with. Love them, can't spend a ton of time with them. So I just set things up so that it's very Paula friendly. So what I do is I set like a certain time. I know when I'm going to see them. It's going to be either at a place that is not my house for sure. It's going to be at like, whether like a space that we can go to, like a mutual space, or it's going to be at their place. And I'm going to know that like there's a time limit here and I can leave. Like I'm in control of
Yes.
when I leave. I'm not waiting for them to leave. I'm not waiting. I know that like, okay, I'm getting my fill and then I'm leaving. So that's like a boundary that I've created with some people in my life that I need to. And it's very helpful. And it makes me not dread the holidays, right? Like where I used to dread going into these events and these things where I was like, I know it's just going to be like soul sucking, or I'm going to leave there and I'm going to feel icky or whatever it may be. And so who else is going to change that if not me? Like I'm the one that has to make those changes. So
Yeah.
once I started implementing that, I don't dread the holidays. I don't dread seeing those people even. Like I can actually like see them in a different way because now I just know that I'm in control, and as opposed to I like
And you're
having those
happier.
feelings. Right.
Yeah.
Nothing's happening to me, right? That I'm like I just get to call the shots, and as soon as I'm like, okay, I've had my time, or if something comes up that I'm like, you know what, gotta go, and it's done, right? And moving on, and it really alleviates any kind of drama, and they don't feel bad about it. Like I'm not hurting anyone's feelings. I'm just very much in control. And yeah, it's something that, so boundaries can look different over the holidays, like whatever that looks like, whether it's saying no to going out places, whether it's like with particular people. But it's something that like you should give some thought to before going in to say, okay, how can I set this up so it's friendly to you, so that again you're not having any of those feelings afterwards, which just
Mm.
causes that spiral.
I used to feel like so much like almost like guilt and shame for being this way, and I was not always so like super open about expressing like how I feel about certain events and situations. And now it's like, you know what, like I'm just gonna say it, like I don't do well in like big crowds. It really drains my energy. It's that simple. If you have an issue with that, like I don't know what to tell you, but like I'm not going to sacrifice like my peace and
For sure.
my well-being for your opinion of how I should be living my life. And
Right. And the
it's
people who
been like
care about you, the ones that you actually do care about their opinions, like they want what's best for you anyway. So like they're,
exactly.
you know what I mean? Like they would want you to stay hold to your boundaries. Even the people that I have boundaries with that I love, like I know that I'm a better person to them and our
Yes.
relationship is healthier and happier because I have these boundaries. So they don't have an issue with it. It's just they don't, I think, know that I'm considering it a boundary. Like I didn't have to explicitly say like this is a boundary, but it's just how I started showing up differently and setting things up differently. And I'm actually, I think, a better person to be around because of it. So I think they're actually benefiting from it, to be honest. And so am I. So it just works out. And I know they do love me as well. And I know that's what they would want.
Mm. And I was just gonna say too, like Kristen might know this because she was attending one of my event. Like, if we're hosting people at our place, I love doing that. Of course, not every weekend. I could not do it. But when we're doing it, I've said before, like before everyone like gets, with drinks in and start mingling a lot, I'm like, you know what? Like my bedtime is usually around whatever. I'll just say what it was. And like, don't be surprised if at that time I just say a last call and like people need to leave.
The
I said
lights
it
shutting down
and
at your
I've done
house.
it. I said, okay, everyone, last call. Like I'm just not going to do it anymore
Yeah,
because who's
absolutely.
suffering after?
For
Like,
sure.
right?
Totally.
So, anyways, yeah. So something that you can really use as well, say the pause before the snap. So you know when you're starting to feel that frustration build up. You're like your body is different. Maybe you're more tense, maybe you have a headache, maybe you are snapping a bit more at your kids or your partner. You know when you're about to like explode. And so catch it before it gets too far and just stop in your track. Maybe you do that box breathing and ask yourself, what do I need right now? Right now in this moment, what could I do that would bring me back to peace or like a good place with myself? Oftentimes, it does not take something huge. It can be as simple as going outside for 5 minutes by yourself, breathe the fresh air, have your 2 feet on the ground. It is something that will completely shift a mood. Like there is a reason why every time that you move your body or every time that you go outside, spend some time in nature, that you come back feeling like a brand new person. Like how many times like I was on the verge of exploding. I felt like my life was ending. I was overwhelmed like I couldn't even imagine. I went for a workout and I came back and I was laughing because I was like, suddenly that mountain is gone.
Mhm.
Suddenly it feels like I don't even know why I was overwhelmed. Like it's so like it doesn't take much, but you need to give yourself that space to like ask yourself, what do I need right now?
Yeah, it is space. It is, and it does flip the perspective around for sure. And so, and again, it's just about how you talk to yourself. It's really just like how quickly you talk to yourself. So I know for me, like when I get really overstimulated, well, first of all, I say the words. I make sure to say like I'm overstimulated. I need
Yeah.
to communicate it. So and everyone in my household knows what that means. And it does mean like I need a minute. Like I do need to like separate myself. And again, like just that little bit of space does create perspective. And even going into another room, I'm like, oh, you know, the people that I was just trying to escape from, now that I'm in another room, oh, they're having such a good time and I'm so lucky to have them and, you know, all the things. But I need the space. I need the minute to get that perspective back because just like anything else, sometimes when you're in it, it's very easy to lose perspective. We're human. We're allowed to be overstimulated. We're allowed to be on edge. We are allowed to just feel like we're going to snap, right? Like that doesn't make you a bad person. It's just you need to be able to talk to yourself quickly so that you don't actually snap. That's kind of the goal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, so we've kept you guys for 40 some minutes because this is what Renee and I do.
Okay.
We're like, we're going to be 20 minutes. It's going to be a quick one. But as we get talking about these things, we just love talking about it with women. And we just feel like everyone can relate to this shit, basically, especially this time of year. We're all feeling it. So I'm really, really grateful that you guys gave yourself this space because whether or not you know, everything we said resonated with you, maybe only a couple things. It also is just giving back to yourself so that you're going to have this in the back of your mind over the holidays. Like, how are you giving yourself like those, I'm not going to disappoint myself moments, right? Like, how are you doing with your brain dump? Like, are you doing that? Like, do you have your non-negotiables? Are you box breathing? Like, these types of things are just like tools that you have in your toolkit that when things feel overwhelming, feel stressful, you know what to do. And again, I think the biggest thing that Renee and I always just talk about is just that self-awareness. Like just stay close to yourself, check in with yourself. This is your holiday too. Like, please do not lose sight of that. We want you and you want to have a really amazing holiday, one for the books, right? And so it's just important that you can be intentional and in the moment and so present and not have all the stuff that comes afterwards, right? When we're not staying close to it. So that's really what we want for you. And so on that note, we just want to talk about really very quickly, literally 1 to 2 minutes. Renee is going to talk a little bit about, we met yesterday and we planned out our entire 2026 plan for our membership. And it is fire. It is so good. We were just like giddy when we were meeting. So what we wanted to just briefly do is just go over the topics that we chose for 2026 year. And we have really decided that we want to take people on a transformation journey. I want to go on a transformation journey. Renee wants to go on a transformation journey. It's going to look different for everybody, but we designed the program that it is truly that. It's going to really, the first half of the year is going to like tear your walls down, make you be real honest with yourself about maybe what you haven't wanted to face or what you've been avoiding. And the last half of the year is about like, okay, now how do we rebuild? And
Mhm.
this is going to look different for everybody. Everybody has different lives and different things that they're carrying, different things that they need to heal from. But you can come on this journey for 12 months and you will be a more empowered, like badass woman at the end of it, 100%. And
Mm.
anyways, I'm not going to keep talking about it. I want you to go over the topics because they're so good.
Yeah, so basically, like what we do, like what we just did tonight, is what we do almost every day in our membership. That's what we call it. It's basically a community of like-minded women. We're all from different backgrounds. We all have, different ages, different family dynamics, but we want to like learn about ourselves and we want to be better and we want to start the following year with like a vision and we want to be excited about our lives. So that's why we started the membership, to have this platform, this community, to like talk about subjects that are not always easy to talk about, but have people to rely on and to really help navigate all of life's challenges. So when we started designing 2026, we're like, okay, I told Paula, I said, I feel like since, I became a mom, I'm doing good overall, but I feel like I never really found my schedule, my habits. I didn't really find like my path again. And I'm like, this is what I want to focus on. I really want 2026 to be transformative for me. And she was like, me too. I want to take better care of myself. And I was like, you know what? Let's build the topics for the next year. Topics that are speaking to us, topics that were like, I would love to hear people talk about that. Even if, I would not be participating, I would love to hear what they have to say. So basically, I'm going to give you the 12 topics and we'll just end after this. And yeah, that's going to be it for tonight. So January. Oh, and by the way, no one heard about this except for our members in the membership. It's like we're sharing exclusive data right now. So basically, maybe I can end the recording, right? Would this be a good time?
Yeah, end the recording. I
Let's
like
end
that.
it.
Let's end the, yeah.